Mhm.
Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening on this beautiful, what is it, Tuesday evening. We are so grateful to God to have the opportunity to come to you to share some hope and encouragement. My name is Portia Wheatley. I am the founder and the president of a nonprofit organization acknowledged as Trophy of Life Incorporated, where we are the action of hope and encouragement. So we want you to sit back, relax, get your water, get your tea, get your coffee, whatever satisfies you. I didn't say wine, but if that satisfies you, hey, it is what it is. But I would love if you would share, comment, and absolutely go to our YouTube channel to subscribe to our channel, which would be Portia Wheatley, Trophy of Life. And I see that it would have to be together, Portia Wheatley, Trophy of Life. Okay. You would become part of our team to share this message and the other messages, the several hundred messages that we have already recorded on YouTube, because Facebook is doing a new thing now. They're just deleting different segments. So I don't know what they're whatever is going on with Facebook. We just want you to go to YouTube where it will be actually uploaded as soon as we're finished with this segment here. Well, tonight I want you to help me to welcome my guest to this platform of hope and encouragement in the person of Artina Norris. Thank you so much, Artina. I appreciate you for accepting my invitation to come. And we're going to talk tonight about self care, self protection, and boundaries. Some boundaries. God knows we need all three of those because before we know it, we're overstepping ourselves, we're overbooking ourselves, and then when we sit back for our own time, we're tired, we have
Mhm.
so much to catch up on, but we're going to learn tonight some strategies and some principles and some what other information she may have to share with us. So, Tina, again, thank you. And one thing I want you to do, first of all, is to share a little about yourself, who you are, and then we can get into all that other conversation.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the opportunity and the space to be able to share what my charge is in this world. So, I am Artina Norris. I am the founder of an organization, an LLC, entitled EmpowerU Training and Consulting LLC. It's a long title of what I do. It's called Performance Stabilization and Leadership Capacity. I help organizations build frameworks to prevent burnout. So I say
Oh,
all of that to sum up just burnout, because we, as Ms. Wheatley said, we oftentimes we overextend. And so I'm going to give you another set of lenses. And that is what my kingdom assignment is, what my contribution is to provide the world with another set of lenses to review or look at self-care from a different perspective.
oh, I love that. And I'm just thinking now of the various entities and businesses and homes and so many other areas where that information is very, very necessary so that we won't burn out. I mean, that's even in the church, in the community, in your home,
Absolutely.
all of that. Well, you got it. Take it away. Share with us.
Absolutely. So I want us to kind of think about this whole concept of self care. When you think of self care, what's the first thing that we think about and why do we do it? Oftentimes it is to recover from something or to retreat from something. But when I started really thinking about and really dissecting what self-care is supposed to do, self-care itself is not the problem. It's how we've been taught to view it. And so when I look at this whole concept about self-care as a recovery from something, I started thinking, what happens if we look at it from another set of lenses and look at it as a self-protection? So if you look at self-care as self-protection, it allows you to ask yourself some different questions. Not what do I need to do when I'm tired or when I'm overwhelmed, but what do I need to do? What parameters, what barriers, what framework, what structures do I need to put in place in my life early on that will help me protect, one, my peace, my boundaries, and my energy? Number one. And so when we start to look at it from that perspective, it gives a whole nother viewpoint of how we look at this thing called self-care. Oftentimes, if we go and we run and get a massage, and I am not taking anything away from massages and getting our nails done and relaxing, because I do all of it as well. But when you think about that and you're looking at this whole concept of self-care, if we start to believe that self-care can be viewed as self-protection, what is that one thing that you think that you need to put in place right now that's causing you the most friction in your life? What is something that you can put now? A strategy, a habit, something that I need to change? That's a self-protection, and it doesn't cost us anything.
Nothing.
Nothing. And so this is the lens that I want people to really start looking at. Self-care is an action. Self-protection is a strategy. And that's kind of how I started looking at this whole concept. When we look and we do things around just self-care, we tend to go back into those environments and nothing's changed.
Gotcha.
What's draining you? It was draining you before you went and you did what you needed to do to recover for that moment, but it's temporary. Because when
Mm.
you go back, the system is still the same, the environment is still the same, the pressure is still the same. Nothing's changed.
So you're, excuse me, so
Mhm.
you're right back into the same situation that you started with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we actually have to start within individually,
Absolutely. And one
personally,
thing,
personally.
yes, yes. And one thing that I always share is that self care is how we practice it is not a one size fits all, because what works for me and what relaxes me and what calms me is going to be different than the next person. So there's no right or wrong answer. It's finding what works for you. And
Right.
that's the important piece. And oftentimes, when we keep working in the state of burnout and exhaustion, it's typically the most capable people who are falling into it, because we're still producing, we're still filling gaps, we're still showing up,
Still
but we're
functioning.
doing, we're still functioning, but we're burnt out, we're tired.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's when even even there it even if there was something that you enjoy doing, and
Hmm.
then after a while when you get burned out, you become frustrated over
Hmm.
the same thing that used to make you feel good or be happy or smile or laugh.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. And so when we start thinking about self protection, we start to ask ourselves different questions. Oftentimes, when we're asked to do a task or we're asked to be involved in something, our first answer is, yes, I'll do it, knowing that our plates are already full.
Mm, yes.
And so when we typically continue to flow in that vein, when we then get tired and depleted, we think, what's the first thing that I need to do to recover? But if we're operating from a vein or a lens of self protection, before I say yes, one, I'm going to stop and ask myself, do I have the capacity to take on one more thing in this moment today? And if I can't, no is a complete answer.
Period.
Period. Or not right now if individuals are struggling with saying no. And so it's really important that we really start to look at that. One of the things that I wanted to really kind of talk about a little bit is when we talk about boundaries, and you mentioned that earlier. Oftentimes people think that we put boundaries in place to push people away.
You know
Boundaries
what,
are
Tina, let's hold off on boundaries because I want to go back to something. When you
yes,
said even the no, N-O period, okay?
yes, yes,
So that no, you can say, just say no without an explanation.
yes, absolutely,
So we don't
absolutely,
necessarily have to get, when you say no, people should know. When you say N-O, people should K-N-O-W,
yes.
um, because of your integrity.
Mm-hmm.
They should know there's something, or there's something that she actually cannot do at this time
Correct, correct.
without trying to give an explanation, because an explanation may lead to something else in the sense of, well, why?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And when you think about that, and I'm glad you brought that point up, when you think about no, N-O, you have to be okay with whether or not people don't understand. Because here's the stress. When we say yes or we say no, we anticipate what's going to come after that no, which is another layer of pressure.
Another layer.
Yeah,
Hmm.
another layer of pressure.
So we can't get stuck in that. I just we can't get stuck in that area of no in an explanation, or
Correct.
the next thing that comes. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
definitely, especially if they are the same individuals who do the same type of,
Absolutely.
yeah. So we
Yeah.
got to recognize that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then here's something, and I'm glad you said that. When I do my coaching, this is something that I share. What in your life is draining you? It doesn't necessarily have to always be projects that we're involved in. People can be draining. And we have to take a look at every aspect of our lives. What is draining us? What's taxing? What's pulling? What are we putting so much out for that we're not having time to replenish is so important.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely, that
Yeah.
that part right there, as far as
Mm-hmm.
replenish, because
Mm-hmm.
we are individuals who are always giving out, pouring into, and who's replenishing you. I know God is there to do that, but we
Mm-hmm.
need people. People
Yes.
need us, and we need people.
Absolutely.
And I think something that you said, um, saying that yes, but a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times we work from our heart, and your plate is already full. No,
Mm-hmm.
no, it was something else you said. Wait a minute, give me a second. Draining you,
Yes.
draining
Yes.
you,
Mm-hmm.
because that's why when sometimes the phone rings and it's you see who it is. No, wait a minute. Okay, let me get a drink of water. Let me get a Pepsi. No, I don't even drink sodas. But it drains you. The
Mm-hmm.
individuals can drain you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But when you actually step back and
Yes.
say, I
Yes.
can't take the call right now, but I will
Absolutely.
definitely call you back. It's not
Absolutely.
like we're ignoring individuals, right down to family. It's not like we're ignoring you, but right now my headspace is not in place. I'm
Correct.
not in a good
Correct.
place.
Correct.
So, okay.
And we have to be okay with making self a priority.
Mm, that's good. That's good.
We have to be okay. Right now, what is it that I need? And if it's to just be still for a moment, that's okay.
It is.
It's okay. And I often say, whatever we do that makes our heart smile, find out what that one thing is and do that one thing. That's something that can keep you replenished, can keep your cup full. We wear so many hats in the things that we do, and every hat that we're called to do. Some of us are mothers, some of us are wives, some of us in our professional careers. Every hat that we're putting on and taking off, if we want to be 100% and pour from a place of overflow and not a place of depletion, we must take time for ourselves to be able to pour back in to self so that every hat that I put on, they are able to get 100% of me.
Wow, 100% of
Mm-hmm,
me.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
that is so good. And
mm-hmm,
when we actually, with you sharing, and we actually incorporate that into our lives, we'll be surprised how much further you can go, how much more, not necessarily you can take on, because you can do the same thing, but
mm-hmm.
with this strategy, you'll feel much more energized to
Absolutely,
complete whatever you've already accepted to do.
absolutely,
That's great.
absolutely.
That, like you said, that self-care is so important. It's number one,
Mm-hmm,
because I'm all about this year. Matter of fact, I resigned from in an area of something I was doing at the end of last year, December, because over the years I had been working with people. Well, that's my purpose in life is to bring hope and encouragement. I know that,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
but at some point I had to slow my
mm-hmm,
roll. And I said, this year, 2026, is all about me. And it's not
mm-hmm,
a conceited all about me,
mm-hmm.
or just me, myself, and I, but it is about developing, equipping, saying no or saying yes. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm pouring into myself, pouring
Yes,
in,
yes,
because self-care matters. Self-care matters. And
it does.
that I'm protecting
Mm-hmm.
myself.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Ooh,
Absolutely.
that's so good.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so when we think about self-care from a perspective of self-protection, there are three areas that we have to protect: our peace, our boundaries, and our energy. And oftentimes when we think about protecting our peace, or when someone says, I'm just looking for peace, oftentimes we think of a place of calm or a place of quiet. But I'm going to give you another set of lenses. I look at peace as clarity, because when something is clear, I'm able to flow. When expectations are clear, when outcomes are clear, when roles, assignments are clear, there's no confusion. Peace gets disrupted when there is confusion and there's no clarity. That's where peace gets disrupted. So, how can we, or what do you need to put in place so that your peace remains clear,
Remains.
remains,
Mm,
remains? Yes. And some ways to do that: when we find ourselves getting anxious, overwhelmed, stimulated to get frustrated, just stop. You don't have to say anything, you don't have to do anything. Just be still. Just be still. When you have recentered, then you can respond.
yes.
And that's self care.
Hmm.
That's self care. And it didn't cost us anything.
So much can be going on around you, but when you're in
Yes.
that place of peace,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It
And when
it
you
it, it won't bother you.
absolutely, because when you think about it, the majority of everything that we, the person, deal with has nothing to do with us. It's outside forces outside of the self that we deal with on a regular basis.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so deep, so deep.
So you definitely have to recognize that it's there, what it's
Yes.
doing to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And let's talk about boundaries because you wanted to get away from those. So when we're talking about boundaries, it's not about keeping people out. It's about not getting to a place or putting parameters in place that I never overextend. I know what my capacity level is and being okay with saying, I can't take on one more thing right now, or let me revisit that. But oftentimes, a lot of people struggle with saying no because why? We like to please, we want to be helpful, sometimes to our own detriment. And so, boundaries are just there to protect us, the person, not anyone else. So I want you to sit with that for just a moment. Just
Mm-mm.
think about the boundaries. Do you have any? Are we enforcing them? Do we change them day by day? Are they changed depending on the person that we're dealing with? Or is my boundary, and whoever I am in relation, connection with must accept my boundary for what my boundary
They
is?
must accept my boundaries, right? And if they cross those boundaries after we've already shared them, well, let me back up. Do you necessarily have to let them know what your boundaries are? Or,
Not necessarily. No,
right.
absolutely not. One, it's with us knowing what our own capacity is going to be critically important because oftentimes people can ask us to do things or to assist with things all the time, as people do.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's up to us to know what's on our plate already. Can we take on one more thing and give it 100%? And if we can't, we wouldn't want someone to do or to give to someone else and we be on the receiving end of 20% because we're depleted. And so we're really doing both parties, the other individual and ourselves, a service when we say we can't do that at this moment.
At this moment.
At this
And
moment.
so when we actually share those boundaries with the individuals, if it happens to happen, when we
Yes.
share those boundaries and they cross those boundaries, they're
Mm-hmm.
literally disrespecting you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yep.
yeah.
Absolutely. And
But
then the
yet you can
last,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, you're fine.
You can tell
And
when someone
mm-hmm,
has when you said about giving 100%,
mm-hmm.
you can tell when someone has pretty much taken on more than they can handle.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can tell in their actions, in their
Mm-hmm,
conversation.
mm-hmm.
Mm,
And that's a good point that you mentioned because when someone is overextended, it shows.
it
People
does.
become irritated, cranky, short tempered.
Mhm.
And so it shows, and you're not giving at the level that you would typically get if there was a boundary in place and if you had not overextended. Mm-hmm.
And then I like that question that you said, do you know what your boundaries are?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if we don't, taking time to really look one at our life and do an assessment of our life, looking at really what's draining. And for our energy, when we talk about our energy, putting something in place, knowing how much you can really take on without overextending yourself is going to be so important.
That is so true. That is so
So,
true.
so important. Yeah. And so when we leave, I wrote down three little questions that I wanted to leave with everyone that I think will give us some food for thought to just kind of sit and ponder with. One of the questions that I wanted to ask is, where in your life are you experiencing the most friction? No one else can answer that question for you. And start there. Really take some time, assess your life, really think about that. And then once you have that answer, what are you saying yes to that you actually need to reevaluate before giving an answer? Okay. And the last one, what is consistently, notice I said consistently draining you that you have not addressed?
Mm.
So when we start there and we start to put a strategy in place. So when I answer that first question, what is causing me friction? How one kind of puts a protection there is, what boundary do you need to put in place? Is it something that is work related, that you are always taking on more than you're able to on a job? Is it a person? Do you need to kind of step back for a moment and begin to not to be so available? That can just be a boundary right there, and you didn't even have to say anything. And so really just kind of doing an assessment of where you are and knowing that there's no right or wrong answer, but putting some type of protection in place in your life so that you are always giving from a place of overflow and not a place of depletion. That's
Overflow,
self-protection.
overflow. Oh,
Yes.
it's amazing that we ask God for this, and then we ask God for that, and then we ask God for. It's like, well, what are you doing with what I've already given you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and then if we can accomplish the tasks or assignments that He's already given us, He'll give us more,
Absolutely.
and then we
Absolutely.
will live, and we can happily live in overflow. The
Yes.
overflow, that's the real blessing. We do our everyday living, holy
Mm-hmm.
living, fun living, self-care living and all of that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but all at the same time, we have to um condition ourselves to take care of ourselves so
Yes.
that we can be
Yes.
here longer for family, for our
Mm-hmm.
loved ones, for whatever we dream to do.
Absolutely.
That is
Absolutely.
amazing. That is amazing. The see, that's why I had to write down as it comes to my mind. I'm trying to hear and think and write down my thought. Oh, it was something else. What was it, Lord? What was it? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
in all of this that you shared, when we do take care of ourselves, it will lower our blood pressure well, just in case you have high blood pressure. It
Mm-hmm.
will, I believe, it will lower the blood pressure in any other illness that you may have, that you can better deal with it
Mm-hmm.
if we would
Mm-hmm.
just put it in the right perspective as to how we live our lives.
Absolutely, because burnout affects our nervous system. And so it is so important that we are taking the time to really begin to view self-care as self-protection. What do I need to put in place to ensure that I'm able to operate and show up in my fullness at all times, in every capacity of everything that I do? I want to always show up in my fullness. And the only way I can do that is to live a self protected life.
Oh, I love that. Show up in my fullness.
Mm-hmm.
And in your fullness, your mind is present, your thoughts,
Yes.
it's not we're here and I'm thinking about tomorrow and I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
about next week and what's on the
Mm-hmm.
stove and all of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What are your thoughts about with this self-care, self-protection,
Mm-hmm.
boundaries, the energy? When we can incorporate that into our lives, or let me step back. If we do not, What are we teaching the generations coming behind us?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. We have to teach them to prioritize self and to make time, that we are just as equally as important as going out and getting the best job. Because if I don't take care of this temple, this body, this me, I'm not going to show up and be able to give and produce at a level of excellence. There's no way that you can do that. You'll break down. And so we have to give the younger generation permission to affirm themselves, to make themselves a priority, not to take on too much, and understand that no, it's okay to say is a complete sentence. It's going to be so important. I think that would
So
be the best tool that we can share and to teach and with them. Absolutely.
so important
Hmm.
because or shall I say, even something as simple as sitting back. Many times I tell ladies, sit with yourselves because
Hmm.
there's a lot going on around us, but sit with yourself. Get in a room, go
Hmm.
somewhere, sit by, even if you go to the library,
Hmm.
carve out some time for yourself,
Hmm.
you know, sit somewhere and your favorite cup of tea,
Hmm. Hmm.
you know, just simple things. It doesn't always have to cost you money.
Correct. Correct.
So
And
they
that's what I call doing what makes your heart smile. Whatever that is, do it and do it often. Whatever that thing is that brings you joy. I love to still roller skate. You
get
believe
out of here. Now see, wait a minute. Roller skate, say skating, period, is
that?
a is profanity, a cuss word to me. That's how I broke my ankle. I'm like, no, rewind, rewind. She's okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead, because when you say skated, I get traumatized. Anyway, but
Yeah,
yeah, you
it's
really do.
whatever. Yeah, it I do. So it is what
Wow.
makes you whatever you do that brings you joy. Sometimes
Yes,
we life has gotten to be so that we've lost the kid in us. We stop learning how to imagine,
that
use our
is so true.
imagination and to laugh and to have fun because everything is so serious and it's so much stress. But if we just stop sometimes and just
Yes.
breathe and enjoy the moments of life. Sometimes we're so
Enjoy the
busy.
moments. Oh my
Yes,
God, that is beautiful. Enjoy the
yes,
moments of because there are
yes,
so many. I don't care how old you are, how young
yes.
you are, And one thing we should do, even this AI thing is just so is I can't say it's out of whack because it's such a useful tool,
Mm-hmm,
but we cannot always depend upon it to
mm-hmm,
you can sit at your table, you lay in the bed, and you can AI all day long through YouTube and and
mm-hmm,
all that.
mm-hmm.
But what about yourself? What are you pouring into yourself?
Yes, yes,
And then even
absolutely.
taking a moment with your children or grandchildren.
Mm-hmm,
Those things
mm-hmm,
are that's what makes the difference. So I'm like, in the midst of it all,
mm-hmm.
that self-care matters. That
It does.
self-care definitely matters. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
don't care how much you love Jesus, because Jesus surely loves us. But
Mm-hmm,
even in the church, there are times when we cannot take on any more.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Or if we see another individual, oh, what about this? If we see another individual, we see uh, that um, they're able to do a particular job.
mm-hmm,
Even your self care in helping another individual to come to realization, just do this. Help
mm-hmm.
another sister out. Help
Absolutely.
let them see. They may not be able to see that if you can lay this aside just for a moment, we're
Mm-hmm,
not saying completely, do without it or not do it at all,
mm-hmm,
but just for
mm-hmm.
them. And let's have a conversation. Let's just talk.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Something
Absolutely.
as simple as walking,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
exercising, and even in the exercise piece, some people, well, I don't go to a gym. It doesn't matter. Get
Right,
two
right.
bottles of water. Two bottles
And
of water. You do it. You do it enough. You do it enough times. Your
yes.
your arms are going to feel it. But it
Hmm.
goes right back to self-care.
Yeah, taking care of yourself is so important. So important. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Well, before you go, before we end this Facebook Live, share a little more about EmpowerU Training and Consulting LLC.
Yes. So my mission in what I do is really to work with organizations to look for these gaps. A lot of times, and we talked about this early on, we can have an individual that is experiencing burnout. But if we don't address the systems, the clarity in roles, the individuals taking on too much, that the problem is there. And so I work with organizations to incorporate frameworks that look for and can fill those individual gaps. And so this is an exciting work. I'm working with an organization right now that I'm excited about, just launched. And so we're doing this work and looking at where their staff are struggling, where there's a lot of absenteeism, where a lot of individuals are calling out. These are red flags. And when it
Mm,
starts happening over and over, we have to look at the system within. So when they come back into a different environment. The
okay.
environment needs to be conducive for the staff so that they can flow.
Very
Hmm.
good.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I
Yes.
love it. Because God doesn't want us burned out.
No, he does
He doesn't
not.
want us burned out.
Mm.
He wants us to enjoy, like you said earlier, enjoy every moment and be in the moment to enjoy life. I come that you may have life and have
Mm-hmm.
it more abundantly.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And if we're always depleted, we're not we're not showing
Hmm.
Jesus in anything. Who
Not
wants
in
to come and
anything.
follow when we're so tired and depleted and we
Hmm.
can't give and we don't have a good word of encouragement to share with someone? So we have to look and put our own barriers in place and make sure that we are walking and thriving so that we can live our best life,
Live our best life.
live our best life. And
And
that's what
like,
self protection allows us to do. I want to lead differently. I want to show up differently. I want to experience differently. And how do I do that? By taking care of this.
oh, it's on and popping now. Woo, yeah. Yes, yes. I love that. I love that. Because that 100%, whether it's to your spouse, 100% to your children,
Mm-hmm.
100% to relationships, all
Yes,
of that,
yes.
because you take care of yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the
Good.
best gift we can give the next generation is to give them space and teach them how to do that. It can be through affirmations, it can be through anything so that they can build themselves up. So important. Yeah.
Well, Miss Artina Norris, thank you so very much. I was excited about this clip because I knew um I knew what you a part of what you did, and
Hmm.
I was privy to actually be a participant in one of your Zooms that had to do with your business and what you do. So
Hmm.
I knew it was going to be good. I knew it was going to be good. Anyway, audience, like, tag, and share, especially if you know an individual who may need this information. One thing in particular, we cannot say, well, I don't have anything to give. Give them this. Share, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe and send it to someone. I know everyone is not on Facebook, so that's why we're on YouTube, so that those that are not would be able to go and get the same rich information that we received on tonight. So again, thank you, Artina. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And to our audience, you be blessed until we see you again. Don't forget, take care of yourself. We are the temple of God, and we want to live our best life, and we're going to live it today. We're going to start today. Let's do that.
Yes.
Let's start
Yes.
today. Make the declaration that you're going to start today. All right? God bless. I love you, and see you next time.